Frieza Planet 79. Although several decades have passed since the demise of the tyrant Frieza, the memories of his reign of terror and the catastrophic events that followed are still in the minds of many. In a story, Beerus never came to Earth, and one where Goku hasn't been heard from since disappearing with Shenron.
What? This signal! Can it be? This is an urgent message to all troops. Lord Ize is about to be born. I repeat, Lord Ize is being born. Any troops nearby, hurry to greet him!
If the name alone wasn't enough of an indicator, a member of Frieza's race emerges, his eyes just as frigid as any of his predecessors. A soldier approaches him with a slightly nervous tone to his voice. "Congratulations on your birth, Lord Ize! You've done a fine job thawing out for all these long years." Replying with an air of confusion.
Ize, is that my name?
"Yes, sir! Your late father, Lord Frieza, gave it to you."
I see.
The demon takes a moment to process all this, before the henchman again speaks up. "Not to rush you, Lord Ize, but is there anything you need? If there's something you want, just ask."
Yes. Bring me a challenge.
"A challenge?"
I want to let loose all the power I've reserved over these long years of thawing. I can't stand just idling around.
With that command understood, Ize's underling salutes and agrees they'll take him to a planet with powerful warriors immediately, while Ize himself just kind of scoffs this off, lost in his own thoughts. He then also instructs one of them to bring him a cold drink too. "Yes, sir. I'll have one right out." The universe stands on the verge of an unparalleled threat, one beyond anything it's ever witnessed. Not only has the evil of Frieza's lineage returned, but in an impossible, more powerful way.
The son of Frieza.
Up until now, Goku and the others have faced countless mighty and formidable opponents, each more powerful than the last. And through every battle, they have pushed themselves to the absolute limits of their abilities. Time and time again, they have overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. They finally defeated their strongest enemy, Omega Shenron, after a long and grueling battle. The very earth trembled beneath the sheer force of their clashes, and the sky was filled with the brilliant light of the energy blast that illuminated the battlefield. 3 years have passed since that fierce fight. Back on Earth, outside a nice but modest home, a feminine voice in the distance can be heard. "Well, I'm off." A fatherly presence responding, "Watch out for airplanes," followed by an almost audible eye roll. "Right." Pan is now 16 years old. She's currently attending a high school in West City. Zooming through the sky, she spots a metropolis and thinks she better start descending, likely to not draw too much attention.
Hey, don't come any closer! Do it and I'll kill her!
Looks like the Pilaf gang are still up to their evil ways. Pilaf himself curses and asks why they have to do this. And this does seem like a huge step down from their once aspirations of world domination. Mai explains how they've got no choice. They failed so many times that they don't have enough money left to live on. At least self-aware, Shu admits they really are the worst. Just like her mother and father, Pan can't stop herself from interfering and commands the villains to put down their weapons and surrender peacefully. If they resist, then they're gonna have to take her on. And it seems like she carries a reputation Videl once did as well. The crowd cheers. It's Pan! Everything will be alright. However, the Pilaf gang isn't so familiar. They bark back.
Who the hell are you? If you interfere, we won't hesitate to kill this girl.
So since it looks like they really want to get hurt, throwing out the white flag, Shu decides he's seen enough. He surrenders. With a sigh, Pan chastises that's what they should have done from the start. As she grabs her bag and gets ready to continue her morning, one of the nearby police officers thanks her for helping out as always. She modestly remarks how she'll leave the rest to them. She'll be late if she doesn't hurry up. With a salute. Great job! Take care now. At West High School, Orange Star High School, where Gohan and Videl attended, is located in Satan City. We see a small montage showing Pan excelling at everything from academics to athletics. So much so, one of her classmates has to comment how she's always so good at everything she does, causing Pan to ask what this is about. The girl meekly mutters it seems like Pan should be more popular than she is. Not exactly a compliment. The daughter of Gohan scolds to leave her alone. Well, with a fair point. Her grandpa is the world's strongest man. Even after all these years and everything that's happened, the world still believes Hercule to be something he isn't. She mentions how there are probably a ton of people stronger than her grandpa. In her head she thinks, Grandpa Satan that is. Another classmate replies, speaking of Satan, is it true that he recently decided on a successor? Which Pan confirms. It's Papaya Man. A shocking reveal to appears. If we remember back to Dragon Ball GT, which this story takes place a few years after, Boo and Oob merged to become a single life form once more. Hercule and Boo probably kept up their friendship in this capacity. Using his Papaya Man alias, he even competed in the 31st World Tournament before losing to Mr. Satan in the finals. The purple-haired student heard it was an unknown person named Oob. And yep, that's Papaya Man. Getting her all the more excited. She stands and is now yelling in response to the news. Before the teacher reprimands, she cut it out. Can't she be a little more quiet? Coming to her senses, she apologizes and promises to be more careful. Leaning back in her chair and reflecting upon her grandpa's lifestyle, Pan thinks about how Oob has taken on some pretty tiresome responsibilities. Diving back to the day this was announced, we find ourselves at the World Tournament. If the timeline adds up, this should be the 33rd installment. The announcer we've all come to know over his many years of service speaks to the audience. Let's begin the finals of the Tenkaichi Budokai Adult Division! Contestant Papaya Man was champion of the last tournament and is well known as the city's defender of justice. His opponent's Captain Beef is competing in the tournament today for the first time. Let's begin! Go! Not even wanting to give the crowd a show, Oob takes down his opponent with a single punch. The announcer bellows to all. Contestant Captain Beef looks incapable of fighting any further. So, contestant Papaya Man is the champion! When a gruff, familiar rumble can be heard emerging from the contestant tunnel.
Excuse me! If I could have your attention, everyone! Yeah!
None other than Mr. Satan himself emerges into the fighting area. The chants of his name could be heard barreling through the spectators, but with a somber look in his eyes.
This may be sudden, but I'm borrowing the stage a bit to tell everyone the news in person. I'm retiring as a martial artist.
Following this news, he then instructs Oob to take off his mask. Happily doing so. The announcer narrates this to the crowd. Apparently, nobody's ever seen his unhidden face before. The champ continues. I'm nominating Papaya. Oob here to be my successor. You all saw Oob's power just now. I've drilled all my martial arts into him. He'll definitely be able to protect everyone from now on. I'm truly grateful to have reached this point in my life. Thank you all for supporting me for so long. The crowd explodes in response to their hero's message. Various shouts can be heard, ranging from assuring he did a great job, they're in his debt, and he is still their hero. The display is enough to bring Mr. Satan to tears. Even Oob bows to show his proper respect and thank him for all he's done. An extra layer is added when you remember he's technically just a good human version of Kid Buu, who Hercule is able to help defeat by imploring these Earthlings to give their energy. Then considering how Buu and Oob merged, this means a large portion of Oob is still Hercule's best buddy. Oob then takes the mic. He introduces himself not as Papaya Man, but by his real name. He makes the promise to do his best to become as magnificent of a martial artist as Mr. Satan. The announcer taking his turn. He declares with that the Tenkaichi Budokai is concluded and for everyone to please have a safe journey home. Out in the cosmos, trying to satiate his thirst for a challenge. Ize bellows he won't be able to let out any of his power like this. Every single one of them just dies from the slightest touch. Fuming, he can't put up with this much longer. Please, calm yourself, Lord Ize. A henchman does his best to warn his new ruler, his voice trembling with urgency and fear. Inside, he knows Ize's power is so immense that the mere pressure alone could mean his own doom. When the thought comes to mind, come to think of it, there's a Saiyan who defeated Lord Frieza. I think his name was Son Goku? It's likely he could at least provide a little resistance. This evokes a pause in the demon's rage.
Son Goku,
He questions. The man who defeated his father. While he never met Frieza, clearly any fantasy that's been implanted into his head strikes a chord with him. Or, perhaps just like Frieza, he too has no emotional connection to his kin, but simply believes if he were powerful enough to defeat his predecessor. Now appearing fully settled down, this sounds interesting. He inquires what planet he's on. But not knowing offhand, the soldier takes to a scouter to look into it. With just a couple inquiries, he's able to discover it's a planet called Earth. It's located far on the frontier.
Earth. Well then, we'll head to this Earth right away.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Wait for me, Son Goku.
Little does he know, he's about to head to an Earth that hasn't seen or heard from Goku in several years now. Although it still has several formidable defenders. How will our heroes handle this threat without Goku by their side?